Am I visible?
Yes.
Yes. Uh, Hi everyone. We are thrilled to have our
You are not audible. Your voice is vanishing. We can't hear you.
scheduled
You are you are not audible.
have our
No, no, no.
graduate.
You're not.
After he represented in India, the prestigious International Designs completion Metal Moda Fashion Awards in Italy, winning the Cotton Creative Award by the International Cotton Council. He also represented India in Digital Committee in Preview and Daegu in Korea. After working with the craft sector, teaching embroidery and weaving to tribal communities in Jharkhand, Nagaland, etc., he started his small costume design studio in New Delhi, where he presently creates high fashion costume gowns and embroideries. So this was Tushar Bhartiya. Let's talk about Dr. Bhupinder Kaur. So she's a general manager, technician education, apparel training and design center, having 18 years of experience at various places like Alok Textile, Shahi Exports, University of Delhi, and apparel training and design center. So I would like to hand over this meeting to the experts, and they'll give you every information about the further procedures of India's skills, and they are perfect to guide you. So I welcome Mr. Tushar Bhartiya and Ms. Bhupender Kaur in this online workshop. So yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Tusharji, would you like to start?
Okay. I just need to understand how do I know that they can listen to us.
Yeah.
So, in between, maybe some of them can just voice some words so that we know that we are audible and they understand what we are trying to say. Because I don't know how this is happening. So is this live streamed on YouTube? So the students are
yeah, we
listening
are
in.
doing a live stream on YouTube.
Okay, so they are listening in.
Pardon?
They are listening in to us, right?
Yes, sir.
So can we listen to them? How do we?
Oh, we can have a look at the chat if they have any queries, so they can drop in the chat section.
So,
Okay,
can we see if they are they are responding in our chat?
Yes, yes, sure. I'll just forward you the YouTube link, and you
Okay.
can see their queries
Yeah. Right.
or
Right.
their any information. So they are interacting.
So just share with us so that
Sure, ma'am. I'll just forward it to you.
yeah. Thank you. So good afternoon, Sulekha. So do you have any query? Are you aware about this particular event which is happening? Good afternoon, Talat.
So how many have
Since
joined right now? 29 of them.
I can see people are responding, and yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Since we are here to brief you a little bit about
How many have joined right now? 29 of them. Bhupendraji, are you there?
yeah, I am there.
I think it's a little confusing for a while. I think because there's a lag
Yeah,
when we are talking and then we're listening it on YouTube. Um, okay, so I think best would be that you talk about it and then let them ask any question for the same, and then I'll talk about what we are expecting and stuff like that.
right, right. So, good afternoon, everyone. We are here to understand how your uh, exam would be at level one, that is district level, right? So, at this particular point, your questions would be more of analyzing. So we will be you have to analyze that particular questions, like maybe you will be given some kind of picture. Maybe you have to analyze what kind of or what kind of color scheme a particular person is wearing in her dress. Could be like contrasting, monochromatic, or you can be given uh, some kind of picture. Could be an identify a particular color or a kind of skirt she is wearing, or in that particular picture. And you, apart from that, you will be given certain kind of situations where you have to make costumes related to particular situation, like maybe you are attending certain party or a particular event. So how you will be dressed up in that particular event, what kind of accessories will be there, what kind of color contrast, keeping in mind the season, the temperature, and of course understanding the culture as well. So that will be little bit on at level one. Am I right, Tusharji? Would you like to add something in that?
Yes, I would like to add.
Sure.
Afternoon, everyone. So let's get some basics clear, right? So this is, of course, a skill for costume design, and we need to, all of you need to kind of understand a little bit in terms of um, a costume design or a costume designer is remarkably different from the traditional fashion designer. So the approach of a costume designer is different than somebody who's just making or designing garments. A costume designer needs to actually I would say that costume design is a little more complicated and a little more advanced than fashion design. So our judgment, the exams, the district one is obviously very, very simple. Somebody says to speak in Hindi. Okay. It'll be a little difficult because I'm not used to it, but जो कॉस्ट्यूम डिजाइनर्स हैं उनका काम और उनका जो अप्रोच है डिजाइन को लेके वो एक फैशन डिजाइनर से बहुत अलग होता है. तो हमारी जो हमारे जो टेस्ट्स बने हैं अभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल फिर स्टेट फिर नेशनल, वो हर एक स्टेप में और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड और मुश्किल होते चले जाएंगे. तो पहला जो स्टेप है, जो हमारा जो फर्स्ट सिलेक्शन जो अभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट पे होगा, उसमें हमारे जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वो जनरली ये पता करने के लिए है कि आप जैसे मैम ने भी कहा कि आप आइडेंटिफाई कर पाते हैं कि नहीं, कि कोई अगर आप कोई कपड़ा देखते हैं तो उसमें, या कोई गारमेंट देखते हैं तो उसमें आप आइडेंटिफाई कर पाते हैं कि वो किस तरह का डिजाइन है, उसमें उसके पीछे की थोड़ी सी कहानी क्या है. तो एक तो किसी ने और ने भी पूछा था कि एमसीक्यू है. अब कुछ तो होंगे एमसीक्यू जिसमें आपको फोटो दिखाए जाएंगे और उसमें आपके पास ऑप्शंस होंगे समझने के लिए कि ये जो क्वेश्चंस हैं उसमें ऑप्शन दिए रहेंगे कि डिस्क्राइब इस कपड़े में क्या हो रहा है. ये पर कुछ आपके क्वेश्चंस होंगे जिसमें बहुत डिस्क्रिप्टिव हो जाएंगे वो. तो कॉस्ट्यूम डिजाइनर जो होता है वो अनलाइक फैशन डिजाइनर अपने आप ही नहीं सोचता, उसको डायरेक्टर के साथ काम करना पड़ता है, उसको एक्टर्स के साथ काम करना पड़ता है. तो उसका जो विजुअलाइजेशन स्किल है, ऑल्सो इन इंग्लिश एंड ऑल्सो इन हिंदी. ओके, I will try to do English and Hindi both in between. So let me just do a little bit in Hindi. जो विजुअलाइजेशन जो कॉस्ट्यूम डिजाइनर के होते हैं वो एक डायरेक्टर, एक्टर, सेट्स सबके साथ चलता है. रोशनी, यस. So a costume designer's work is remarkably different from a fashion designer. So costume designer works with the director, actor, with the set, lighting people. So the visualization of a costume designer is much, much more advanced. So they would be in the district, in the first level, there would not be what we call the practical exams, where you might need to make something, because this is going to be online. The first district level would have simpler questions in terms of identification of fashion, identification of the silhouettes, identification of what is happening in the garment. And the questions go a little more difficult in the analytical section, where visualization section, where you need to actually visualize and write about a costume. Now, one of the things, so for all of you, how do you prepare for this? One, of course, you need to have, we are assuming and expecting that you have some back knowledge of clothing and how it is made. So that is obviously required. You need to have little technical knowledge of how the garments are, how any garment is made. Plus, you should have the ability to look at a garment, identify the parts of it, and on the other hand, also, you should be able to describe a garment to us. This describing a garment, is a very, very critical skill required by a costume designer. So when, let's say, director comes to you and says, this is my scene, this is the emotion, so you need to design accordingly. So it is not just that you could be very good at sketching. You need to be very good at describing your garment, because that garment is going to be linked with very, very ambiguous stuff like emotions, anger, the scene. It could be a period drama. It could be a science fiction. So for the district one, we are going slightly simpler. You'll have questions where you need to identify, as I obviously mentioned, you need to identify looking at a garment. We will also check your little technical skills in terms of, do you know about the basic machines used for stitching a garment? We would be testing your imagination at this stage, not by sketching, but by your descriptive, what would you say, skill of, can you describe, if we give you a scene, can you describe what the characters would be wearing? That is for your district. For, obviously, when it progresses to the next level, there we introduce a lot of practical tests where you will be expected to not only sketch, you are expected to make a garment. You need to learn, you need to know how to make a garment. So it could be either draping or using pattern making, your stitching techniques, your stitching abilities, all those things will be tested from the state level thingy. So far, is it making sense? Roshni, is it making sense?
There is one question related to identification of fabrics. बच्चे आप fabric को कैसे ही
खुशबू एंड अनु, कुछ अभी तक समझ में आया? कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं आप? डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे फैब्रिक की आइडेंटिफिकेशन हम आपसे अभी नहीं पूछेंगे. अगर पूछते भी हैं तो वो फोटो के हिसाब से होगा, आपको फिजिकल सैंपल्स नहीं दी जाएंगी. So for the district, the fabric identification can come through a photograph where you need to identify or imagine what is happening in terms of the garment, but we will not give you physical samples because the district one is an online. The test will happen online. For the state, yes, that could be a part of your testing of the fabrics, making of a garment. So how should you prepare? I'm obviously assuming that all of you would want to, do so awesome that, you get selected for the next and next level. So how do you prepare? One, I mean, you can obviously at this moment, you will have to, if you don't have a background in fashion that or clothing, you need to brush up, but you need not go very deep in terms of really, you should get into the foundation of how a garment could be made. Brush up your sketching skills. It's very important because that is going to be a very critical part when you start for the state level. Your sketching abilities, your pattern making and draping abilities will be, because that is a prerequisite for any costume designer. The ultimate of a costume designer is he or she should be able to make any kind of garment, and it need not be what we call in today's time the practical garments, because if you're working for a film or a theater where it is a very ambiguous scenario, it could be a science fiction, it's a very it's not a realistic based film or a theater play, then your costume becomes like that. So your costumes, you need to your visualization of 3D is very important, because the costume designer is the one who also works with the accessories, where it could be any kind of accessories, not only headgear or the design of the shoe. So we will progress like that, but at this stage, brush up your skills in terms of basics. I will also speak in Hindi. Basics of what is a silhouette, what kind of silhouettes are there, what happens with, what are the color schemes, what are the basics of machinery, what is the basic machine used to make a garment. At this stage, you have to prepare on that aspect, get your basic knowledge of pattern making, observing a garment and trying to understand how the garment is made, what are the technical aspects of the garment, what are the parts of the garment. These are for the basics that you should start already looking into and go deeper, because it goes more complicated at each level. Okay, I'll do in Hindi. तो अभी जो आप जो तैयारी करेंगे कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे अभी ऑनलाइन हो रहा है, ये इसमें आपके प्रैक्टिकल टेस्ट आपके स्टेट लेवल से शुरू होंगे। तो इस लेवल पे, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे ऑनलाइन है। तो आपकी जो तैयारी होंगी, आपको धीरे धीरे ये तैयार करना पड़ेगा। आप किसी एक कपड़े को देखते हो, किसी गारमेंट को देखते हो, किसी ड्रेस को देखते हो, तो आपको देख के, फोटो देख के पता चल जाना चाहिए कि वो बनाया कैसे गया है, उसके कितने पार्ट्स हैं, या उसका पैटर्न किस तरह से बना है, उसके सिलुएट्स क्या क्या हैं, वो लूज फिटेड है, टाइट फिटेड है, एसिमेट्रिकल है, ये समझना आपको है। दूसरी तरफ आप अभी से ही अपने ड्राइंग और स्केचिंग स्किल को इम्प्रूव करेंगे, क्योंकि ये ड्राइंग और स्केचिंग आपके स्टेट लेवल से शुरू हो जाएगा, काफी काफी डीपली शुरू हो जाएगा। तीसरा, एक कपड़ा बनाया कैसे जाता है, उसकी कटिंग कैसे की जाती है, कोई भी ड्रेस हो या शर्ट हो या पैंट हो, जो भी, उसकी कटिंग कैसे की जाती है, मशीन्स के बारे में आपको थोड़ा बेसिक नॉलेज होना चाहिए। तो ये सब आप इंटरनेट से, किताबों से पढ़ सकते हैं। दूसरी तरफ, जब आप अभी से अपने विजुअलाइजेशन और इमेजिनेशन को थोड़ा और स्ट्रॉन्ग करना शुरू करें, क्योंकि कॉस्ट्यूम डिजाइनर या कोई भी, जो भी डिजाइनर कपड़े के साथ डील करता है, उसकी इमेजिनेशन थोड़ी अलग तरीके से चलती है। तो आप इमेजिन करना शुरू करेंगे कि मान लीजिए कोई एक कैरेक्टर है, या कोई एक सीन को इमेजिन करिए, तो लोगों ने किस तरह के कपड़े पहने हुए हैं, और उसको डिस्क्राइब करना भी एक स्किल है। वो भी आपको प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा। जब आप किसी डायरेक्टर के साथ बैठ के काम करते हैं, तो डायरेक्टर आपको एक सीन दे देता है, बोलता है कि ये कैरेक्टर्स खड़े हैं, उसके लिए कपड़ा डिजाइन करो। तो आप कपड़े को भी डिस्क्राइब करते हैं, स्केच तो करते ही, हम डिस्क्राइब भी करते हैं। तो हम आपकी डिस्क्रिप्शन ऐसी होनी चाहिए कि अगर कोई पढ़े, स्टोरी टेलिंग है, कॉस्ट्यूम डिजाइन स्टोरी टेलिंग ही होती है एक ढंग से। तो आपका डिस्क्रिप्शन कोई पढ़े, तो उसके सामने ना वो इमेज, एक वो तस्वीर आ जानी चाहिए। तो ये सब आपको, ये ऐसे ही नहीं होता, इन सब की भी तैयारी करनी पड़ती है। तो आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल के हिसाब से अभी आप कपड़े के बारे में, उसके डिटेल्स के बारे में समझने की कोशिश करें, मशीनों के बारे में समझने की कोशिश करें। इमेजिनेशन, हम जब कुछ इमेजिन करते हैं, उसको हम कैसे आगे किसी और को समझाएं, पैटर्न मेकिंग, ड्रेपिंग, इन सबको अब देखना शुरू कर दीजिए। बिकॉज क्योंकि आगे के लेवल्स में पूरा ही प्रैक्टिकल हो जाएगा। ये वाला प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है, इसमें आपको प्रैक्टिकल, डिस्ट्रिक्ट पे आपको प्रैक्टिकल नहीं दिया जाएगा। स्टेट लेवल से आप प्रैक्टिकल हो जाएगा, उसमें आपसे चीजें बनवानी पड़ेंगी, हम बनवाएंगे आपसे। विनोद, समझ में आ रहा है? अंजना? क्वेश्चंस, सवाल हैं? डू यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस? प्लीज आस्क एनी क्वेरीज, यू कैन आस्क एनीथिंग राइट नाउ। डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल, साकेत, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल में ऑनलाइन एग्जाम हो रहा है, स्टेट लेवल से ऑफलाइन हो जाएगा। गायत्री, सारे एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस नहीं है, कुछ एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस होंगे, और कुछ डिस्क्रिप्टिव क्वेश्चंस होंगे। क्योंकि आप ये भी समझें कि एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस कॉमन हो जाएंगे ना सबके लिए, तो हमें एक जो इंडिविजुअल डिजाइनर होता है उसका सोचने का तरीका, आपका सोचने का तरीका किसी और के सोचने के तरीके से अलग होना चाहिए। और हम वो भी टेस्ट करेंगे। तो सारे एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस नहीं होंगे, उसमें से कुछ क्वेश्चंस में जहां पे आपकी एनालिटिकल एबिलिटी को चेक करेंगे हम, जो मैं आपको समझा, जो मैं कह रहा था कि विजुअलाइजेशन आप कैसे करते हो, आप इमेजिन कैसे करते हो और उसको डिस्क्राइब कैसे करते हो, उस तरह के क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे। सृष्टि, सृष्टि, इफ आई एम गेटिंग इट रॉन्ग, क्षमा चाहूंगा। अभी ये डेट्स आपको कम्युनिकेट हो जाएंगी, ये वर्कशॉप के बाद हम एक फाइनलाइज करके आपको ये कम्युनिकेट हो जाएंगी डेट्स कब है डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल की। So the date for the exam will be finalized and will be informed to you really soon. But we wanted to kind of have a small meeting with all of you so that you kind of have a little idea of um, what what is expected out of you. District level puja is not practical. Everything would be because it is डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे प्रैक्टिकल नहीं होगा, क्वेश्चंस होंगे, पर केवल एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस नहीं है, वो मल्टीपल चॉइस वाले नहीं है सारे। उसमें आपके विजुअलाइजेशन को भी चेक किया जाएगा, आपकी एनालिटिकल एबिलिटी को भी चेक किया जाएगा। तो आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में आंसर आप हिंदी में भी लिख सकते हैं, उसमें आप अंग्रेजी में भी कर सकते हैं, हिंदी में भी कर सकते हैं। प्रिपरेशन के लिए किसी ने पूछा था, तो ये तो हम आई ऑल्सो से दैट इन हिंदी. For preparations, of course, as I've already mentioned, that you need to brush up your skills in terms of the technical aspect of the garment. How is it made? What is the technical aspect? How are the machinery is working? Visualization. But also do make a list. Go to internet or go through books. Make a list. This is obviously assuming for all the levels, progressing up to the national level. Go to libraries or use internet. Look at some great examples of yes, Shalini. Look at some great examples of costume design. Don't just look at the realistic, what we call the real drama, where it is portraying the movie or the theater plays portraying current time. Look at some period dramas. Look at some science fiction. Look at some theater plays. You will have to, in any case, forget, as a costume designer, you need to be actually be able to design not only period drama garments, but you should be able to design a situation which doesn't exist. So start looking at films, start looking at costumes. A lot of research will happen in terms of that. So when in the higher levels of state and pre-nationals and nationals, where it gets a little complicated, you would have to actually design an entire, costume for a film and make it. So it's not just, remember all of you, it would never be that you'll just make a sketch and that would be it. No, your skill set will be tested in terms of you be able to make that garment. So please, your preparation, future preparation will also be based in that. Okay. Any questions? Vagabond. See, it's your first time. Where do you prepare for the exam? I don't know your Background. Do you have a technical background or what? What is your background? While Vagabond answers, Saket, no, sketching and drawing will be not at the district level because it's an online exam. सॉरी साकेत, हिंदी में स्केचिंग और ड्राइंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे नहीं होगी क्योंकि ये ऑनलाइन एग्जाम है. स्नेहा, it will be both. It can be both. Okay. So Vagabond, for you at this moment, because you will require a little bit more preparation. So at this moment, prepare, read up on very basic, at least for the district one, I can tell you that read up on a little bit in terms of get introduced to the whole idea of um, silhouettes. What are silhouettes? What are basic? And this is not a very complicated study because these are the foundation of, just read up a little bit foundation on clothing. It'll help you about the silhouettes, what kind of silhouettes, color combination. See, because your descriptive part is your imagination, that need not require that much of technical training. But technical training comes in terms of identification of the garment. So you start actually at this moment, go through Wikipedia, look at some, internet would be your best friend at this moment. Look up what are basic silhouettes, what are they called, what are the technical parts of any garment, how is it made, look at a couple of videos, because this can be built up. But at this moment, look at the foundation, because if you don't have a technical background, you start with that, how a garment is made. And don't go very complicated right now, go simple. Then you can add up. लक्ष्मी, ये डिसाइड नहीं हुआ है, कितने भी हो सकते हैं, कितने भी क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं. रोशन, ये हम बता चुके हैं पहले, ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे और डिस्क्रिप्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे. Ankit, yeah, outline of a garment, but then it has names. Sneha, you need not look at any reference per se, but what you need to really, as I've been talking about it, get your foundations very, very clear in terms of when you look at a garment, can you identify what is happening with that garment in terms of the silhouette? It could be the colors. How is it made? So this is, you don't need not read up any reference in that. नीतू, स्केचिंग और ड्राइंग इस वाले एग्जाम में नहीं आएंगे, वो स्टेट लेवल से आने शुरू हो जाएंगे. अमीशा, अगेन स्केचिंग अभी इस लेवल पे नहीं है, वो स्टेट लेवल से शुरू होगा. प्रियदर्शनी, इट विल बी एन ऑनलाइन एग्जाम फॉर द डिस्ट्रिक्ट. Rabani, I think you joined late. We have been talking about the same thing. The district level exam will have multiple type of questions where we will be testing about your basic foundational knowledge of a garment and descriptive type of question where we are also trying to test your imagination skills. Gunjan, not for your district level, for state level and further progressing from state level, yes, you will have to create the garment. Sneha, this is the district would be an online exam. From the state, it will be an offline. Any more questions? Is there any confusion? Any queries? Okay, since if there are no more questions, I will quickly give you a synopsis, both in Hindi and English. For the district level, the exam is going to be online, where we will be testing you. So it'll comprise both multiple choice questions and a descriptive section. We would be testing your basic knowledge about clothing. When you look at, you'll be given photographs, and you need to identify certain parts of that garment. You need to have a basic knowledge of machinery so that you know how a garment is made. In your descriptive one, it will be completely testing your visualization skills, your imaginative skills, your descriptive skills. Language, you can write in English, you can write in Hindi, but it would be about can you describe a garment. So it's your visualization and your explanatory techniques that we would be testing. So this district will have no practical exam, no practical part of it. That will start happening from the state level. In Hindi, of course, तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल एग्जाम में आपके मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस होंगे और डिस्क्रिप्टिव टाइप के भी क्वेश्चन होंगे, जहां पे आपकी विजुअलाइजेशन, आपकी इमेजिनेशन को चेक की जाएगी. मल्टीपल चॉइस टाइप क्वेश्चन में एनालिटिकल चेक होगा, जहां पे आप कपड़ा बनता कैसे है, आप फोटो देख के आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि उसमें क्या हो रहा है, ये होगा. डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम नहीं है, ये ऑनलाइन एग्जाम है. स्टेट लेवल प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्स होने शुरू हो जाएंगे. Okay, exam times and everything else will be informed to you. वो आपको बता दिए जाएंगे. All right. Bhupender ji, if you want to add something, I think it's pretty much done.
I think you have explained them so well. I just wanted to add one point to all the candidates. When you are going for an imagination, you need to give lot of details. Think about a lot of detailings. Let us say if you are given any situation related to bagger scene or any, so you need to understand what kind of the silhouettes that person will be wearing, what kind of makeup and his body language will be there, पीछे का बैकग्राउंड कैसा होगा, तो बैकड्रॉप कैसा होगा, आई मीन टू से. So you need to visualize, imagine, but go in detail. Give more importance to each and every maybe kind of accessories or eye makeup or kind of silhouettes like I just explained. So ये वाली चीज़ों पे आपने बहुत ध्यान देना है when you are doing. और बाकी तो तुषार जी ने बहुत अच्छे से आपको समझा दिया कि ऑफलाइन होगा, sorry, online hoga at district level, and it will be multiple as well as descriptive. So I think we have covered each and everything. So any other question, you're most welcome. We are here to help you, and timings you will be communicated very soon. पंकज, हम कब एग्जाम डेट प्लान कर रहे हैं, अगर इनको कुछ हम अभी बताना चाहते हैं और मे बी बाद में. Okay,
Khushi, if you want,
We will notify them regarding the level 1 competition through WhatsApp and mail very soon.
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. That's it from our side.
All right, folks, all the
Thank
very
you.
best for the exam, and thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and all the best. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
experts, for joining us today. Am I audible?
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Tushar and Miss Upinder, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today and sharing your expertise.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Also, as mentioned by our experts, you will soon receive notifications regarding the level 1 competition through WhatsApp and mail. So be in touch with the team.
and you will get the updates regarding level 1 competition. Okay, let's wrap up this online workshop. Thank you for joining the workshop and YouTube live. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.